What's up, people? Today's day 5, cinco, and I'm excited because today I feel like this topic, which is private label versus co-packers slash custom blends, is something that a lot of people don't really know what it truly means. So today I'm going to break it down for you. All right, so stay tuned. Private label is fast money. Co-packing custom blends is big money. What's the difference? Let's get into it. Let's go over what a private label is. So with private label, it's the company's blend. You slap on your logo, your branding on it, you package it, you sell it. It's quick money, but it's like renting an apartment, right? Or renting a home. You don't own anything, right? So the minute they decide to change the recipe or the formulation, you can't stop them. So if your customers are used to your blend that you've been putting your label on that the company makes, and then the company decides to change it, you are now left up a creek with no paddle. You know what I mean? Like literally you're out of luck. So those are the things that are synonymous with private labeling. Now, custom blends or co-packing is when you do everything. Like I'm talking, you come up with the recipes, you come up with the logos, you come up with how it tastes, how it should look, the texture, how fine it is, how coarse it is, like the finite, every single detail you are responsible for, and they can help and guide you along that process. Okay, so that's the difference between the two. Now, the pros and cons of private labeling is that it's lower inventory, right? You can go to market very quickly, but the cons is what I mentioned before, where you have no control over the product at all, right? You basically have to do what they say, when they say, how they say it, and why they say it, okay? So that's the pros and cons of private labeling. Now, the pros and cons of custom blends or co-packing is the fact that, for the pros, like I mentioned earlier, you get full control of how it looks, how it tastes, the size, the packaging, the containers to put it in. Every single detail you are able to customize to your liking. So that's where you get to have fun. Now, the cons of, the cons of co-packing and custom blends is that most times you end up with a bigger minimum, right? Depending on the company you go with, which is in turn your inventory, right? But then also the other con is more upfront money, right? And then it might take a little bit longer to market because now they're waiting on you for recipes, formulations. You have to taste test it and make sure that it's right. And when it's there, then you can move forward. So the cons are not necessarily super bad. You just need to weigh your options in terms of if private labeling is more your route or custom blends, co-packing is more your route, right? Like if you really want to have more control and you really want to fine tune the end product, then custom co-packing is the way to go. Now, here is a pro move. Let's say you want to test the market out, right? And you want to see if you can actually sell. Find a private label company that has a product that you love and you can put your label on. See how much of that you can sell. See if you can find your customers. Once you're able to develop your customers, once you're able to see that there's a market for what you're selling, then maybe you can venture out into custom co-packing where you can create your own and fine tune it a little bit more because now you have an audience, now you have a following, and you're able to then provide them with more variety. All right. At the end of the day, stop guessing which route to take. All right. You need a strategy, not a recipe. Okay, you want to build a seasoning line or company that actually makes money, and there's a specific way to go about that. All right, here's an example. This is a generic brand, and this is a brand that is well thought out, right? Private label, custom co-packing. This one makes you money today. This one makes you money over time and builds wealth. All right, and you can tell by the difference. This one has a nice label on it. There's a logo. There's information that you can get in terms of if you log on, you can scan, right? It tells you tips and tricks. This one, someone just wanted to sell spices really quickly, so they put it in a container and they're selling it to you at the farmer's market, or they're selling it to you online, wherever it is, but there is no information for you to dig deeper into the brand. Whereas with this guy right here, there's a social media, there's a website, there's information about who the company is, the ingredients that are inside of here. So those are some of the things that you want to pay attention to when you are deciding on how to move in this line of business. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking for help, you know what to do. Find me, contact me, and let's make some money together. All right? Peace and love. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking to start your own seasoning line, your own spice brand, then contact me, ed@knifeandspoon.com, and let's make some magic. Peace.